Hi everyone, I'm Sofia, and for today's persuasive speech, I'm going to present why Formula One is considered a dangerous sport. Some of the public's perspective on this sport is a common mistaken, which is that cars that only do laps for a long certain amount of time. But actually, drivers do a lot of physical work. They just drive a fast car, which is something that many people might have a misconception about. This physical sport revolves around drivers managing a high G force where the body is put through during the race. Some races take around 2 hours. So if you think of the amount of strength that this driver has to put in to take care of the driver not going in certain curves around, it's a lot. In order to handle a Formula One car, the drivers have to train their bodies to handle a certain amount of weight, like training their necks and cores. They're actually known for having one of the strongest necks in all different athletes. And actually, there's been a lot of accidents in the several decades. Just to put everyone in example, Formula One has 20 different races, more than 20 different races depending on the season, and they drive around 20 different countries. Each country has different circuits, and they vary between different climates, temperatures, and the regimen that they have to follow in order to complete the race. It's a 3-day sport. So they basically run for more than 12 hours if you add them up during the weekend. And so this sport has been here for a long time. One of the first more recognizable deaths was Ayrton Senna in 1994 in Italy. Then we had Jules Bianchi in Japan in 2014, which was amongst 20-year difference. And Jules Bianchi passed away because his car slept under a racetrack, and so he sadly passed away. But both Ayrton Senna and Jules Bianchi, they actually passed away. But some other examples of accidents that have been there in the racetrack is Niki Lauda, which he was a 3 times world champion, sorry. In 1976, his car actually burned. I don't want to show any pictures because they were really graphic, but he was in really good shape when that happened, that he actually went back to run for, I think, 2 weeks after his accident. And in one of the most recent times, we have Romain Grosjean in 2020 in Bahrain, where his car also went out of the track and it split in half. It's a miracle that he actually survived. He was able to get out of the car while the car was laying on fire. It's also relevant to mention that all the drivers have to follow this rule where they have to wear the same suit. Even though they're from different teams, the suits stay the same. I think the only changes the sponsor stickers they have on. Were there any positive outcomes from all of these strategies? Well, the FIA, which is the Federation of International Automobile, decided to introduce requirements that cars have to obey a certain limit when they enter and go out of the pit lane, which is a certain lane where the cars change their tires and do the oil change and do the checkup. They also added the halo, which is a part of the car that can support up to 2,000 kilograms, which was added after Jules Bianchi did. So if this part of the car was implemented years before, he probably wouldn't passed away. They also increased the awareness by surrounding those a car that it's named the safety car, and it basically makes sure that the other cars or the other drivers are following the speed limit after certain accidents. So adding the safety car could have prevented Jules Bianchi's death and Ayrton Senna's death. Thank you for your attention. My call to action is actually promoting the athlete safety via social media, which I do since I'm a fan, And I also implemented conversations when people do comments like it's not a difficult sport and everyone could do it. I make sure to acknowledge the fact that it's not an easy sport and it takes a lot of courage to race every other weekend. I would encourage my classmates to do that for the same sport that they admire. Thank you.
Great job, Sophia.
Yeah, I really liked your slides. Like they were so visually appealing, which also made it easy to like follow along. I really liked your delivery, so that in conjunction with your slides made it a really interesting presentation.
Thank you.
You definitely seemed very knowledgeable on the topic. You were very good with just overall, like Kate said, the slides. That definitely helped a lot with following along and kind of like engaging a little more with your speech.
Thank you, everyone.
Who's next?
I will go next. Let me,
Oh, okay.
sorry, let me share my screen. Okay, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then I just want to confirm, are you guys still able to see my video as well?
Well, it doesn't show up on the right corner, but we can like see it in the list.
Yeah, on my recording here, I can see like you, like your face, but also your slides.
Okay, perfect. All right, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so I'd like to start the night off by asking you all how many of you were able to have visual arts, music, or theater classes growing up. I know I was lucky to be in a school district that allowed me to have access to all of these types of classes. Now, in California, California law mandates that visual and performing arts instruction is to be administered to students. However, as of 2022, only 11% of schools in California meet that requirement. Not even a quarter of schools in California is able to provide adequate arts instruction for students, which could actually be very detrimental to future generations, if not reversed. So today, I am going to be persuading you all to support funding for arts education in K through 12 public schools. Now, going back to my earlier question, for those of you who are able to have these types of classes, I want you all to reflect on your experiences. Now, you may also be wondering, why should we care? It's no secret that the arts play a crucial role in the culture of our society, through the media we consume, to even the music we listen to. Now let's think about how different our generations and future generations would be if we didn't have access to the origins of art that we say we love and appreciate. And what if I told you that these art classes extend beyond the classroom and can help with the development of children as well? So today, we will be talking about how arts education can benefit academic achievement, how it can positively contribute to kids' development, and we will debunk ideas relating to why arts education may not be a necessity. So, arts education can promote academic achievement in the way that it helps students through reading and writing, as well as math and other STEM subjects. Academic achievement in this context will be in the sense of success through reading and writing, as well as math and other STEM subjects. Now, arts education can help with achievement in reading and writing by helping with context and critical thinking, which may help them improve their ability in comprehending texts. Some strategies that it may help with are summarizing, identifying the setting, and sequencing. On the screen, we have pictures of examples of art that helped the students conceptualize these types of concepts in order for them to completely understand what it means to comprehend the text. In fact, according to Todd Hunter Reed, a researcher at Rutgers University, exposure to art training, students who are exposed to low art, which is otherwise known as lower minutes of art instruction, did not do as well as students who were exposed to high art, known as higher minutes of art instruction. This was a longitudinal study, and though the differences may not be that great, as you can see, from 1st through 5th grade, the students who received more minutes of art instruction generally did slightly better than the students who did not receive as many minutes of art instruction. Now, in addition to reading and writing, art education can also help with math and other STEM-related courses. According to Catherine Vaughn, students who study music are more likely to increase proficiency in math. This is because of the way music and math are related. Musical rhythm is all based in mathematical concepts, such as ratios and repeating patterns. Additionally, music enhances spatial temporal reasoning, which may help in other concepts such as geometry. But art education is not limited to benefiting children's academic achievement. It can also benefit their social, emotional development as well. This can be seen through how they improve in their interpersonal and relationship skills, how art education promotes self-expression and identity, and how it conceptualizes self-management and self-discipline. Now, when we talk about interpersonal and relationships, this is referring to how students empathize with other students' feelings and their perspectives in order to maintain these healthy relationships. This can be seen in classes such as theater, where collaboration and communication is vital in order to have a successful play. And this helps them become more emotionally aware of themselves and others. In the promotion of self-expression and identity, which is known as how students see themselves and their values integrated in their world, visual arts, especially graffiti, can help students draw from personal experiences to depict their ideas, feelings, and complex messages that they learn from the world. And finally, in conceptualizing self-management and self-discipline, which is known as how students take responsibility for their behavior to achieve their goals, we see this in music classes, where repetition and mastery of basic concepts is necessary in order to achieve more advanced skills that help them play the music. Now, despite this empirical evidence, many people still see arts education as a trivial extracurricular. Some of the common counter-arguments is that there is no evidence that the arts cause students' standardized testing scores to rise, and that the arts is basically an extracurricular. Therefore, it should receive the lowest priority for funding, right? Now, to address the first counter-argument, numerous studies show positive correlation between arts education and academic success. Now, while arts education does not directly target the skills that are specifically tested in standardized testing, it assists in honing skills that could contribute to the critical thinking that is needed for standardized testing. In addition to this, according to the National Endowment for Arts, students with access to arts education are 5 times less likely to drop out of school. Arts education can be the key to student engagement, which fills in the gaps to perfect students' academic skills that we are trying to teach them for the future. To address the second counter-argument, it's important to know how arts education poses multiple benefits for children, both academically and socially. According to Eric Cooper, the president and founder of the National Urban Alliance for Effective Education, arts education enables children from financially challenged backgrounds to have a level playing field with children who can afford to have these enrichment programs. Therefore, all children should be able to have access to all of the benefits that arts education poses. So, what can we do? Well, I urge you all to support Prop 28. What is Prop 28? Prop 28 is grant money that is used to support more funding for arts education in public schools. Now, this is a new proposition that was on the ballot in the 2022 election. And despite the success of it being voted in, we don't know how much consistent funding this proposition will be given. So we don't know how much funding arts education actually have. We have a giant amount of funding, millions of dollars right now, but how do we know that this funding will still remain consistent in the future? That's why I urge you all to call your lawmakers to emphasize the need to continue funding arts education. And as you can all see on the screen, there is a link where you are all able to find your district representatives in order to call them and let them know how much our education means to you all, in order to raise a generation of well-rounded students who know how to think critically, not only about themselves, but also for the world. Thank you.
That was so good. Great job. Really professional. I like that you had like the link in there too.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed the topic you chose. It was good. Really interesting and engaging. I think it's a current struggle that you chose, and I think that you promoted like the actual links on how to get better at it.
Thank you.